You are listening to the Wandering Chronicles podcast. I'm Ashley.
I'm Jamie.
Hi, Jamie.
Hello. How are you?
I still want to self-hug. I still want to be swaddled.
Yeah.
I need somebody to swaddle me.
We all miss the womb.
Yeah. I want to hug, but I don't want to be touched by anybody. So.
Yeah. So a straight jacket.
Yeah. See if I can borrow one. Use it wisely.
I'm sorry.
It's okay.
I'm sorry you need a hug.
It's been a week. It's been a lifetime.
I hear that.
How are you?
That's a deep question. I started taking a new psych med this week, and I'm not loving it.
Okay.
But other than that, I'm okay. It makes me very, 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 very drowsy.
So, no operating heavy machinery for you.
No, barely any sitting up, right? Really.
Oh, my.
I'm hoping it gets better.
I'm hoping,
but
yeah.
I don't know. I don't really know what to expect.
Well, I'm about to switch medications again, probably sometime next week.
This is something that you took before, though, right?
So, I have ADHD, and I've been on medication for my whole life. Well, not my whole life, but since 4th grade when I was diagnosed. So, I recently decided I wanted to try something different. My general doctor doesn't really like me being on stimulants. She wants me to try non-stimulants, so I finally gave in and said, sure, why not? I tried non-stimulants for about 8 months, give or take.
Right.
And I felt nothing. I was at the highest dose of the medication that I could try, and I tried 2 different medications, and I felt nothing. Like, I felt a slight something at the beginning, but then I feel like that might have been left over from the stuff I had been on.
Right.
And I don't feel anything. And I wasn't getting anything done. It was just, I was slothing 24/7.
Yeah.
So I can't really afford to go back on my old medication, my old stimulant medication, because it's way too expensive, and I freaking hate that insurance companies get to dictate what medications we take, because sometimes they're just too expensive.
Yeah.
So I have an appointment with my psychiatrist to just try something different. So I'm going to try Adderall, and I tried it once before, but it wasn't my prescription, and I hated it. So maybe when it's actually meant for me, I'll like it.
Yeah, well, and sometimes I'm hoping that's the case with this one, because I was put on Seroquel, which is, I don't know what to even say, because it's sounding like they misdiagnosed me, and I don't know, I'm 40 and I have no idea what's wrong with me. That's where I'm at.
Yeah.
But anyway, this medication is sometimes used as a sleep aid. So it's not surprising that it makes me drowsy. I'm a little bit surprised that I'm on the lowest possible dose and I'm this tired.
I mean, sometimes that's just like part of the initial switch. I tried Lexapro for a week, and I slept the entire week and then took myself off it. Yeah,
I took a long weekend. I had a doctor's appointment Thursday. I kind of anticipated that my meds were going to be switched once I went in. At this point, I just want to take something that makes me feel better. And if this helps after a few days, if the drowsiness gets easier to deal with, like if it's not quite as bad, that would be great.
Yeah.
So we'll see.
I don't
know what to expect, really.
There's always an adjustment period, so we'll see.
I had a sleep debt going, too.
Yeah.
A pretty substantial one. I haven't slept great since the Buffalo shooting kind of started a bit of an anxiety attack that lasted off and on for several weeks. I haven't been sleeping great for a while now, so maybe that will chill out a little bit.
Maybe just getting sleep will help a little bit too.
I do feel better just having slept. I mean, I don't feel awake now because I'm still very drowsy, but the other update that's going on is my cat has also been prescribed new medication for her mental health. She and I are such similar beings. We have very similar souls, I think, because we both are come across as kind of like a badass that doesn't get their feelings hurt. And we are both the most raw nerve of all of the nerves. Like, both of us are the same way.
You do realize there's a reason why Chibi is my favorite of your cats. Like, I like all your cats are all really cute, but Chibi just resonates with me.
But she's been on an antidepressant since January. And it helped for a while. What?
I was petting Johnny's head and he jumped into my hand head first. Like a little furry dinosaur.
It's cute.
Hi, Nigel. You're so handsome.
I'm very handsome.
Crazy orange boy.
But yeah, Chibi has been on an antidepressant since January, and she was pulling out her fur, partially because of this dude.
No. He's pretty intense.
He is, but I don't think he's not bullying her. He's not intending to be intense. He's just dumb.
It's just who he is.
Yeah, and he doesn't understand social cues, really.
Yeah.
So when she's overwhelmed, he thinks she's playing. And so he pushes her, and then she flips out, and then she pulls all her fur out.
Oh.
But anyway, so she was on that, and it was helping her. Like, the fur started to grow back, but then it kind of got... I won't say... It went back the way it was. It is still better than it was, but it's still not all the way better. It's still not... Like, her fur is still not completely grown out because she still pulls it out.
Oh, poor baby.
It's just that she pulls it out less than she used to. So they prescribed her gabapentin, which is an anticonvulsant. And I was talking to Jeff, and they prescribe it to a lot of the methadone patients that they have for withdrawal from heroin. So, if my cat isn't getting a tattoo soon, I'm confused. I am confusion. So, we'll see how that goes. She hasn't started taking it yet. I have to go pick up the prescription on Monday. But... And it's not subdermal like the one I've been giving her. It's...
Oh, so you have to give it, like, as a pill?
I had the option between a pill and liquid drops.
Mm-hmm.
And I chose liquid drops.
That might be smarter. Chibi doesn't seem like the type that would be okay with pills.
I've given them to her before, and it's okay if it's just for a few days, because I think anything, if you're only giving it to them for a couple days, they don't get freaked out by it.
Mm-hmm.
Like, they don't get afraid every time you walk near them until it's been a few days in a row.
Yeah.
And then they're like, okay, you're up to some shit, and I'm gonna hide every time you come near me.
That happened with Izzy, definitely. She went through a phase where every time I came near her with a small bowl, she would run away. And she started eating around her medicine when I put it in her food.
Yeah.
I had to eventually give in to what she wanted and let her dictate the terms of giving her the medicine, which meant that she gets to stand behind my bicycle, and I put the food down, and she'll eat it as long as John stays away from her.
Mm-hmm.
So
yeah, that's not the kind of situation we have here.
It's hard to wrangle three other cats when...
Well, it's not even that. She hides underneath the bed and I can't get anywhere near her. And she's not interested. She's not food-oriented, so she's not going to come out for food.
Yeah.
I mean, I haven't had to do it in a while, but there was a time when I had to take her to a vet for a UTI, and I had to literally take my bed off of the frame to get to her, because there was just no other way.
Oh, man.
She wasn't going to come out on her own. So,
yeah.
I don't know. I don't know how I'm going to administer the liquid, but I do feel like it'll be easier.
Yeah. Yeah, I'd have the same problem with Johnny. Izzy, I'm lucky. She's food-oriented, so as long as I give her something she likes, she'll take it. She did throw up her medicine this morning, so that was a little concerning, but she's held it down this afternoon, so she should be okay.
They'll do it sometimes, and there's nothing you can really do. No. Like, cats just throw up.
They do.
It's not related to the meds. Someone threw up this morning when I got up at noon. I've not slept till noon when I wasn't sick for years, literal years, decade, probably.
Wow. So this is an anomaly.
Anyway, that's not all that interesting. Other than that, I'm fine. I started writing letters for Beto O'Rourke's campaign.
Oh, very nice. How's that going?
Pretty well. I haven't done a whole lot of them yet. Just started a couple days ago, but it's going all right so far. It's nice. It makes me feel a little bit better to be involved. Yeah. Be doing something positive. And
he seems like a good dude, so he's a good person to help out.
I would vote for the Hamburglar if I thought he would actually do something, though. Like, honestly, it's not even about Beto as a person. I just need somebody who's not Greg Abbott.
Did I ever tell you?
I don't even live in Texas.
Did I ever tell you that I had a somewhat sexual dream about the Hamburglar?
Oh my god, no. Please tell me now, because I also have a dream to tell you about.
Okay, so when I was in college...
Not about the Hamburglar.
I'm gonna make it really short and sweet. It was a Bonnie and Clyde style dream, but my Clyde was the Hamburglar, and we were going around robbing hamburger places, and
This is incredible. That's so funny.
Yeah. Oh my god, my face is turning red too from talking about it. Oh, the Hamburglar.
Do you, when you see him now, do you just get like a really weird lady boner?
No, because I really don't find him attractive. It was just really weird that I had a Bonnie and Clyde style, rob the hamburger shops and have sex.
Wow.
And it just happened to be the Hamburglar who was my partner.
Weird.
I have a weird brain.
I had a dream on this new medication. That's one of the main side effects that I'm actually kind of okay with, is as long as it's not scary. It's vivid dreams, because I already have vivid dreams, as we've talked about, and I'm curious how far this can go. And right out the gate, I've had 2 vivid dreams.
Really?
I don't remember the first one anymore, but when I woke up this morning, I had woken up from a vivid dream. I might actually need to start writing them down.
You should absolutely do that.
Yeah, but the second one from my nap that was 4 hours today... I had a dream that I went to, I guess, like a family reunion.
Okay.
I don't really know the reason why so many of my family were at this place that I went to, but I went to this place with my parents, and a lot of my dad's brothers were there. And they were all former military in my dream. And to my knowledge, none of them are in real life.
Okay.
So that was weird. And then my ex-boyfriend, he showed up at this thing, and I was mad at him for some reason, and I started yelling at him because he didn't respond to a text message.
Damn it, man.
I'm not 100% sure. There was a reason that I was that upset, but I don't remember why that text message was so important. I forgot that already. But he started telling me how the reason he didn't respond is because he was in the Marines.
I'm gonna try that one. I'm gonna try that excuse one day. I'm like, sorry I didn't respond. I was in the Marines.
That dude would have lasted an hour in boot camp.
I mean...
There's no way. No way. But in my dream, he was like, yeah, I'm in the Marines. I had to do payroll.
He did payroll for the Marines?
He's like, I couldn't respond to your text message. I was very busy doing payroll.
I was in the Marines. I'm busy doing payroll.
And my family was having this, whatever it was, this reunion or whatever it was, in a building, like it was a house, old house, that had a mill in it.
That's kind of cool.
Like an old-fashioned mill right smack dab in the middle of the house.
Oh, that's actually really cool.
Yes, but it was weird.
I mean, yeah.
And that's all I'm willing, and then it got weirder.
Okay.
And I don't want to go into the rest of the weird.
Yeah, these drugs are doing some weird things to your brain.
Yeah. The person wasn't someone I was related to in real life.
Okay.
You know how sometimes you have dreams,
yeah.
and the person, it's like, hi, I'm Pam, but it's not Pam. You know Pam, and Pam doesn't look like that.
It's just somebody who says they're Pam, but it's like not Pam.
Anyway.
I mean, I've had a dream like that where I wasn't who I am. Like, it was me who wasn't who I am.
Oh,
and
okay.
I had a dream that I assassinated the president.
Which one?
It wasn't anybody that, like, actually was in office. It was just, like, a generic white old dude. Like, it wasn't Joe Biden. It wasn't, like...
It was like a TV show.
Yes, it was just, like, some random old white-haired dude who was just like, I'm funny. The president. And I'm like, you're dead.
Not anymore, you're not.
You're dead. And I remember...
You say that in present tense with such fucking confidence.
So, I had the dream that I killed the president, and then I hid out in, like, this dingy motel room, and the FBI found me there. And as they were, like, dragging me off the bed and, like, arresting me, like, I went past a mirror, and I was just, like, some generic white dude. I wasn't, like, me. I was just, like, a dude.
Oh, weird!
Yeah, so they shoved me outside, and they're doing, like, the perp walk, except there's, like, one of those vans in front of the door, and the van moves away, and, like, all of my, like, people I know as my family are standing there, and they're all very disappointed in me. So it was like those home renovation shows where they like do the big reveal to the neighborhood, and except it was a big reveal of my family being really disappointed in me.
So it was like Extreme Makeover Black Sheep Edition?
Yeah. And I woke up and I'm like, holy shit, I killed the president.
That's hysterical.
And then I was like, holy shit,
I've never had
any
dream like that.
I have some really weird dreams.
My dreams they fall into a few different general categories. Almost always, the building is more interesting than anything else. There's always a building that has some interesting element.
Okay.
Like the mill. I have a recurring dream that is a house that has an observatory And I have that dream all the time. Not always the same dream, but the observatory is the same.
So the location stays the same.
Yeah, the house is the same.
Interesting.
But what happens in it or the people that are there, different. And then I have another dream where there's a library. Like if you go down into the basement and then you have to keep going several layers down into the basement into a library. I don't know.
I have mostly horrifying dreams. When I remember them, they're usually like uncomfortable.
Yeah.
I had a reoccurring dream several nights in a row, and then I had one that was like several months of randomly having it where I was in my house and I was with like different people every time. And every time it was a different place. I'd go outside and it would be like the desert, or I was outside and it was a forest. And every time it was the same thing, same situation, different people. I didn't know any of the people, but we were being chased by somebody who was trying to kill us. It was like a horror film. But it started off in my childhood home every single time. And then I'd go outside and be like, where the hell am I? In the middle of a warehouse district.
Interesting.
Or I wake up and all I can remember is that there was a judgmental talking toilet.
So you're dreaming about Dan's house.
Yes. Poor toilet.
I dream, the other one that I have a lot, or I haven't had it in a while, thankfully, but I went through a several year period where I had it almost every day, where I was being chased through the woods and then I got murdered.
Ugh.
And it was always the exact same situation. Like, literally frame by frame the same dream.
Oy vey.
And I would wake up after I died, which I know they always say if you die in a dream, you really don't wake up. And I'm like, that's bullshit, because I've had so many dreams where I died.
That is bullshit.
Yeah.
So we have a short story today.
Okay.
So I do want to do one quick thing. I want to give my oldest niece a shout out because today is her birthday.
Happy birthday, niece!
And she cracked me up this afternoon. I literally was texting her right before we recorded, and I was like, hey, happy birthday. You do anything fun? Like, you know, I miss you. Your gift is gonna be late because I suck as an aunt. And I was like, so, how's your birthday going? Did you do anything fun? Are you 21 yet? She's turning 14. And she goes, yeah, I'm 57. And I just lost it because I'm just like, yeah, we are related. On my birthday a few weeks ago, I kept telling people I was 700 years old. And I said that to her. I'm like, oh, so we are related. And I feel like, I was like, yeah, I told people I was 700 and I feel 700. She goes, you're not 700. And I'm like, you're right. I'm not 700. I'm 750.
You guys could be sisters.
Ish.
She could be your kid. She looked a lot like you.
Yeah. People have told me before I've been out with her, they're like, your daughter's so cute. I'm like, so my daughter.
Yeah, the genes are strong with your brother and you.
Yeah, no. I was talking to somebody today at the baby shower I went to, and they're like, yeah, red hair is like a recessive gene, so it usually skips a few generations, and like you'll randomly have a redhead pop up in a family. I'm like, not in my family.
No, I mean, it depends. I guess if you're a family that doesn't have, or that has a lot of darker haired people, maybe that's true, but
yeah.
It's a very clear distinction for me too, because my dad is a redhead.
Yeah.
So, you know, and your dad was.
My dad has
too,
red.
right?
My dad has red in his hair. My mom was a redhead. My brother's a redhead. I'm a redhead. Both my nieces are redheads. Like,
well, you had it. Yeah. If both your parents had the gene, then that explains why.
But like,
all of you do too.
Jessie's mom has red hair in her family as well. So
yeah,
she gets it on all sides.
Yeah, I got my mom's hair, but I got my dad's skin, so I still have the complexion of a redhead.
That explains the
very dark hair.
Very Sleeping Beauty. Very pretty.
Anyway, I want to hear what's going on in Maumee, Ohio.
Oh, God, I got an eyelash in my eye. Hold on. Ugh. All right. So we are in Maumee, Ohio.
Maumee.
And how'd you get there? It just touched my butt. Oh.
I think I astral projected.
Oh, I like that.
Because I don't remember getting there. I just woke up there. So I think I astral projected in my dream.
I like that. That's a good one. Yeah. I rode a giant wolf.
Interesting.
Yeah. I just decided to jump on a giant wolf and ride.
Very interesting. Yeah. I'm interested to see if this is connected to anything.
It's not.
Oh, okay.
It's just something that popped into my head. I'm like, giant animal!
That's funny.
So, this episode was a originality, like resourcefulness, inventiveness, and I had a really hard time with this one.
Okay.
It's a small area. I mean, Maumee is like kind of a suburb of Toledo at this point. And there wasn't a ton. And I'm not saying there's not a lot of inventors from Ohio, because there's some really interesting inventors, just none that are from that area. The best I could find was a guy who co-invented bubble gum from Toledo. And I was like, So
that's kind of interesting.
I wasn't feeling it. It would have been interesting, but I also didn't want to press it. I really wanted to stick as close to Maumee as possible.
Where in Ohio was he from?
Toledo, which is not...
Oh, Toledo.
Yeah, which is not far, but it's still not the same.
It's not Maumee.
It's not Maumee. I mean, the guy who invented gas masks is from Cleveland. He was an awesome...
Interesting.
BIPOC person. He is awesome. He gets, almost no credit for it, so...
Cleveland is an amazing city that gets very little credit for being as great as it is. I really like Cleveland.
And, obviously, the Wright brothers, which I wasn't going to cover anyways, because everybody knows about the Wright brothers. But there's, a lot of inventors from Cleveland and Dayton, that stuff. But
right, Cincinnati and whatnot.
Yeah, they're, not a lot of Maumee area. So,
There's going to be stories that are just going to be lighter with some of these smaller
I stretched
areas.
the parameters of the subject today. So, the inventiveness comes in how Maumee came to be. So, this is something that helped bring people to the area, and this is what we'll talk about today. So, I'm not going to do, my traditional little factoids about the town. I will tell you, a little bit about the area before colonizers took it over. So, the area was home to the Ottawa tribe before, white folks came, and that following the American Revolution, tribes in the region such as the Ottawa, Ojibwe, Potawatomi, and Shawnee tribes had made an alliance that was known as the Northwest Territory, and this agreement was to claim land from the British. So those are my two little things about the area before. So, excited to find out what the actual subject is today?
Yeah.
Today, we will be talking about the Erie Canal.
Oh.
Yeah.
I think that's interesting.
It was interesting once I got further into it, but when I first started researching this, I was like, oh, snore. But it took me a while. I certainly got into it. It's just not going to be a long story because how much can you really say about a canal?
I don't know.
Well, let's get into it. So, prior to the construction of the canal, the majority of transport of goods was through pack animals, which could only carry up to 250 pounds max, and the creation of the canals would mean that goods could be transported in a more cost-effective manner. Erie Canal was first proposed in the 1780s, but did not get approved. At the time, the problem with the project was that the land rises about 600 feet from the Hudson River to Lake Erie, and that the locks at the time could only handle up to 12 feet. So, it's kind of, not really gonna work. My eyes are not working.
That's a problem.
Yes, I'm going to make an appointment for the eye doctor because my eyes are not working, and I think that's why I've been getting so many headaches.
Wait, so I need you to clarify. Your eyes aren't working correctly, or they're not working at all?
No, they're working. They're just not working correctly. I'm having trouble focusing on the words right now.
I had a friend that came up to me one day and said, my eyes just turn off sometimes. You know how when your eyes just turn off sometimes?
No.
And I was like, that's not normal.
Yeah.
That's very scary. She's like, oh no, it's not a big deal. It's just, my eyes just turn off and everything goes black. And I'm like, can you have someone pick up your children so I can immediately take you to the ER? That is fucking terrifying.
That's not how eyes work. Your eyes are not a TV that's on the fritz.
Yeah. It's not like the battery just goes dead.
Excuse me, I'm tired, I'm shutting off.
She had, I forget what it was called, but it was hypertension of the cranial fluid. So the spinal
Yeah.
And it was putting pressure on the optical nerve so that the connection would just cease to be.
That is fascinating.
And she had to have a spinal tap done to drain out the fluid. And it was back up to that same pressure within a week. So she ended up having some kind of medication helped. But yeah, scary.
Yeah, eyes are not supposed to just, boom, shut off for a little bit.
No. The way she said it was like, yeah, I have migraines. When your eyes just shut off, and I'm like, I have migraines too. That's not...
No. I've been noticing that my, glasses aren't doing as good of a job as they used to, and, my eyesight's a little bit blurry, so I just need an eye exam. That's just all it is.
Yeah, you just need a new prescription.
And I don't fuck around with eyes, so I'm gonna make this appointment.
Oh, no.
Ashley don't fuck around with eyes. So.
I like that because it also is kind of a joke about how some people spell Ashley with eyes.
There's no eyes in my name. Actually, no, there is in my middle name. I was like, there's no eyes in my name at all. No, I have one eye.
Well, that's not what we're talking about here.
And I think I'm not gonna say it. I'm not gonna shit on other spellings of Ashley. I'm not gonna do it.
No, I get it though. I always say, you spell Jamie the right way?
Yeah.
Most of the time they don't. I do though.
Too many variations. You don't need that many variations.
Yeah. The fucking 90s, am I right?
Yeah. Gotta be special with your crazy elongated version of Ashley and Jamie. It's pronounced jamais.
Oh, God. I'm trying to remember. There was a girl that I went to school with who moved. She moved to my town, and her name was Jamie also, but it was spelled differently than mine. I forget how. She said her name was Jamer, and the R was silent.
Jamer.
Jamer. Like James, but with an R instead of an S. That's how she said her name was supposed to be pronounced. But the R was silent. So...
My eyes just shut off.
The R was not in the name. You pronounced it, even though it wasn't there. And she thought that meant that the R was silent.
Oh, Jamer, no.
Yeah, she wasn't very smart.
That hurts my head, just thinking about that. I'm like, nah, I can't do with this.
I can't remember how she actually spelled her name, but obviously it didn't have an R in it, so she was very confused about what silent R meant.
That hurts me. Alright, so, it was decided... Fuck you, phone.
Wow.
My phone is just pissing me off today. So it was decided that even with the most sturdy cuttings and viaducts, that at least 50 locks would be required to make it work, and the price was astronomical. And, even by today's standards, this kind of construction with modern technology is still incredibly expensive. Mm-hmm. President Thomas Jefferson called the plan little short of madness and declined to move forward with the project. So we got ourselves a founding father! Mm-hmm.
All right.
Jesse Hawley, who was a flour merchant and went broke trying to get his product transported to market, was actually writing essays that got published while he was in a debtor's prison.
Debtor's
prison.
DEBTORS, debtors.
Yeah.
Okay.
People who owe debt.
I heard debtors,
oh, no.
DEADDERS.
Debt. Yeah.
Got it. Because back in the day, if you owed money, you would be very much in trouble for that.
So he was in in prison for owing money. His
You know how many people would be in prison for student loans if we could be
free room and board. So he had been advocating for a canal system for this very issue. Hi, Gordy. Just look up and there's like a fuzzy little orange face. It's like overly enthusiastic girlfriend, except cat.
The crazy ex-girlfriend, you mean?
Gordy is the crazy ex-cat.
Yeah, I'm not crazy. I'm just
He's
happy.
Just handsome. So, he went broke trying to get his product to market. And he's in a debtor's prison, and he's talking about this canal system to make a faster, cheaper transport option. And he had suggested a route, which ended up being the route they went with. But then Mayor DeWitt Clinton of New York agreed and believed that the canal system was crucial to economic advancement.
New York City?
Yeah, New York City mayor. So, again, in 1807, the proposition came up for a second time, and this time Clinton was governor of New York and got the project approved with the state legislators, approving $7 million for construction. $7 million.
That's so much money back then.
I actually was trying to figure out, did they mean $7 million then or $7 million in today's money?
Probably then.
Yeah.
I don't think $7 million would be enough nowadays.
No, I don't think so either. Canals are not cheap to build.
They're very dangerous.
They are. So, in 1817, Governor Clinton got construction rolling, but he did end up getting a lot of flack from critics who called the canal Clinton's Folly or Clinton's Big Ditch. It's not really relevant to the story, but I really liked it.
That's funny.
So, construction was slow going as they had to cut through rock and through the Appalachian Mountains using manpower, animals, and gunpowder because dynamite hadn't been invented yet.
Makes sense.
Yeah, but by October 1825, construction was complete. Upon completion, it was a 363-mile, 40-foot wide, 4 feet deep waterway, and at the time was the second longest canal in the world after the Grand Canal in China. So that was kind of cool.
Yeah.
It was eventually widened for barges, although the canal as it stands today has very little of the original canal, with over half of it being abandoned or destroyed. But in the positive way, the canal did change a few things. It also had the effect of taking New York City from an entry point for people coming to the country to a economic powerhouse. So it really grew New York City, and it also helped drive people west, which is how Maumee came to be.
Okay, that makes sense.
So, resourcefulness of this canal created towns heading west.
Yeah, just like the railways all across. So this is an interesting fact that not everybody who's not from like Iowa or similar states knows. If you pay attention to Iowa when you're like driving through there's a town roughly about every 7 or 8 miles because of the steam-powered trains. So that has expansion of technology, especially transportation, has probably more to do, I would say, with what has generated where we live and where our towns grow than a lot of other things have. I mean, look at all the towns along the eastern seaboard because they can export from their ports.
Exactly. I mean, that's partly how Chicago got started. It was on the water.
Yeah, exactly. So
I know that's why Toledo was around, because it's also on the water.
Yep. Yeah, St. Louis is for the Mississippi River because the fur trappers used to come through here. So it is a big part of what has formed the layout of our geography.
How you can transport yourself or goods across the country is a big deal. And, before cars, there were trains, and before trains, there was boats, and before boats, there was animals. So, it all evolves somehow.
Yeah. Well, and it's interesting because people go where the jobs are, too. So if that's where the work is,
they head west.
Because they're working on this thing, then they go to that place and they create a town there to actually work there.
And that's how we got the very cute town of Maumee.
Yeah.
So that's
Makes
how
sense.
I connected the subject. Innovation created the town. So
yeah. I think that's smart. It's not always going to be easy to do that. So I think that is a very good connection and not a stretch. Like, you know what I...
Okay, I thought it was kind of a stretch. I was like going for like invention in the more typical sense. But I was like, all right, well, this canal helped create this town. And, without the canal system, who knows if Maumee would be what it is now. Mm-hmm.
It's so hard to say. I mean, its location now is convenient for different transportation reasons. So, but it wouldn't be the same. Yeah. I mean, nothing would be the same. All of us and all of our areas are formed by the shit that happened there before.
Exactly.
That's just how it works. So
that's history for you, baby.
That's why we can't ignore history. That's why we have to embrace it and learn from it.
Yes. All right. The plat for Maumee was laid out in 1817 at the foot of the rapids on the Maumee River, and within 10 years, the settlement was officially up and running. It was established in 1825 and was quickly getting recognition as a major transshipment point as it was connected to the Atlantic Ocean via the Hudson River and Lake Erie to the land on the west. Jessup Scott, who at the time was a town promoter, had predicted that Maumee would become the great city of the West.
Not sure that worked out too.
That's pretty much the same thing I thought. So, Maumee was an important place because from 1840 to 1854, it served as the county seat that saw lawyers come from miles around to practice at the Greek Revival Lucas County Courthouse, which there's a photo of that, and it's a gorgeous building. Mm-hmm. Yeah, beautiful building, so I get why people are like, let's go.
It's huge.
Yeah, it's a huge building.
Yeah, impressive.
In 1825, construction on the Miami-Erie Canal began as a way to further transport goods south. The Miami-Erie Canal starts in Toledo, then stops in Maumee before ending in Cincinnati. This canal cost the state of Ohio just over $8.5 million to construct.
Wow.
Yeah. It had 19 aqueducts, 3 guard locks, 103 canal locks, and a few man-made water reservoirs. Its construction was completed in 1840, and in 1913, its use had already been declining, and that was partly due to the railroads being built in the area. Around the 1850s, the man-made canals transport system was less cost-effective, and after a historically bad flood, it was permanently abandoned. A small section does still remain and is in use for leisure use, so that's kind of fun.
Okay.
And then that also spurred a second canal, which was constructed flowing west into Indiana, named the Wabash-Erie Canal. Its construction began in 1832 and was completed in the summer of 1843. This route took it from Toledo down the Maumee River through the Wabash River and ends in Evansville, Indiana. Yes, the Miami-Wabash canals do start at the same place, and they do follow the same path. The Wabash and Erie Canal splits off going west at Defiance, Ohio.
Okay.
So the Wabash and Erie Canal did not fare as well as the others, as it only was in operation for just over a decade, and it was just found not to be economically viable, and the lands were sold off at auction. I think there's a little bit left around Defiance that they use again also for leisure activities.
Yeah.
Or not Defiance, Delphi.
Is that what the ferry?
Yeah.
Well, that's what caught my eye is Delphi. True crime.
Yeah, I chose a photo that had the boat name because I figured you would get.
Yeah, you can take the story out of true crime, but you can't take me out of true crime.
No, sir. Now, Maumee did have some difficult years, and it was not the great city that Jessup thought it would be. I am by no means saying it's not a lovely place. It is. I lived nearby for years, and I was just there last summer for a wedding. In the 1970s, Maumee established itself as the largest business center in Northwest Ohio and has continued to grow, expanding its borders while still maintaining its small town charm. And that concludes Maumee.
Yeah, it's definitely a suburb type town because of the retail district is what makes it seem very suburby.
Yeah, their downtown area is so cute.
Is it? I've never been off the interstates or there's a highway that goes through the middle of town where you change interstates.
Yeah, I think it's like I-75.
Yeah, but that's all I've been on.
Oh, okay.
I've never been off of that, unless I got lost, which probably happened, but then my goal was to get back on the road I intended to be on. I one time got lost in Gary, Indiana.
Good God.
It was fucking terrifying.
I mean, nobody should get lost in Gary.
It was like 4 a.m.
Oh, no.
And I clearly was not welcome.
I can't imagine.
I wasn't in a neighborhood where my presence was welcome, which I understand and don't blame them. My presence probably causes a lot of alarm in a lot of areas, and I understand that for good reason, I'm sure.
Beware of Gary and men named Gary.
I have an uncle named Gary. He wasn't in the dream.
That's good.
That is good.
Uncle Gary couldn't make the reunion.
Yeah, I guess he wasn't in the military. None of them were in the military. What the fuck was that all?
Oh my God. So yeah, there we go. We got our first originality story, and I tried.
Yeah.
It ended up being more interesting than it initially was to me.
I think it's interesting.
You know, there's only so much you can say about canals, although I did find it interesting that sections of the Miami-Erie Canal does, like, kind of, the way they described it is almost like steps, so like the way the water flows, it helps keep the boat in line so it can, like, safely travel down hills, because Ohio's not necessarily a flat state. There's a lot of hills and rolling spaces, so I thought that was kind of interesting. I didn't include it because it wasn't necessarily relevant, but I just think it was interesting.
Yeah, I think it's smart. Here's what I think. Yes, it was a short story. I do not think this is going to be the last time we ever talk about canals, because the early canals in the U.S. are a big part of our history, and I'm sure at some point it will come up again, and this is a good introductory
we got
episode.
Our first canal, and at one point the second longest canal in the world, which is actually pretty cool.
Yeah, and the Erie Canal is still used.
It is.
I've crossed it.
I'm sure I have at some point, but I don't remember.
I have on the way to Niagara Falls. I like it. Niagara Falls is a good time. I mean, it is a tourist trap.
I hear the Canadian side is more fun than the American side.
There's nothing on the American side.
Yeah, the Canadian side's like a full, like, tourist trap.
Yeah, I mean, there's a casino on the American side. If you're into that, I guess. I'm not. I like keeping my money, thank you very much.
Yeah, I don't make enough to gamble it away.
No, me neither. But, I mean, Jeff and I used to go to the casino occasionally. We would go in with, like, $25 and just play the penny slots. It's like, that's gonna last a few hours. That's a good time. I never won anything substantial. I think I walked out $50 richer one time. Every other time I lost the entire thing.
That one time is what keeps people going back.
Yeah, not me. It's a fun way to kill a few hours if you play it knowing you're gonna lose it. But the Canadian side is fun time. They have like this, I forget what it's called, but it's like an aviary that you can, kind of like a butterfly house sort of thing, but it's birds, that Jeff and I went to once. That was fun. It was closed, so we didn't get to go in, but we walked around the little tourist, or the little, not tourist, the little gift shop
thing. The Canadian side I've heard is like really built up and like they really cater to tourists, whereas the American side's like, fuck you. Look, there's water!
There's a wax museum, there's a Ripley's Believe It or Not, there's a rainforest cafe.
This is an advertisement for Niagara, Canada.
It's expensive, but it's fun. It's pretty. I say go in the winter, because there's not as many people there, but the falls freezing is very cool.
That does sound cool.
So, and when we went, Jeff and I went, that was like the first trip we went on as a couple. We went to Niagara Falls, and then we drove away from Niagara Falls into Canada a little bit further to Niagara on the Lake, which is where Paul Bernardo and is it Katie Homolka?
Oh God,
what's her first name? Tammy Homolka?
Is it Tammy, or I thought her sister was Tammy? Oh my God, yeah,
I don't remember.
The Ken and Barbie killers. I know who you're talking about.
Yeah, but she's the one that's fucking free, so I want to make sure I get her name right.
Didn't she change her name?
I don't think she did.
Bold. Carla Homolka.
Carla.
I think Tammy is the one that they drugged.
Okay. Gross. But yeah, that's where they were from. I didn't know that at the time.
Oh man.
I didn't know that till later. But it's a very, very small but very cute little town. And yeah, we had fun. We went to a winery.
Fun.
Yeah, and we drove all around the whole, because it's like a little island. Peninsula. It's peninsula is probably a better word. But we got to see all the locks. We got to watch the locks changing to to let water through to even it out. And the coolest part was the whirlpools at the bottom of the Niagara Falls. Like, there's the falls, and then downstream a little bit, there's these giant really whirlpools.
Cool.
So
I
cool.
To Canada.
Yeah, I highly recommend. Yeah, now you need a passport. Back then you didn't need one. I have a passport, so it's okay. I don't.
I got my passport to go to Canada like 3 years ago.
I'll have to get one. I did not end up getting the real ID when I renewed my license a couple months ago because I didn't bring... They're so picky about the shit you have to bring in for that. And one of the proofs of where I lived was my voter registration, but they don't put your apartment number on your voter registration. And so I couldn't get the real ID.
I don't think I got the real ID on my ID.
I was like, whatever. I'm not going to stay in Missouri.
So I don't think I got the real ID. It doesn't say it on there, and I know what it's supposed to look like. I don't think I got it. I didn't get it because I have a passport ID card. So when I travel, I'm gonna...
Yeah, if you have your own passport.
I have to carry my passport book. I just have my passport ID, so like it's just like a ID card.
I don't know what that is. I have never had a passport in my life.
That's my passport ID. Yeah, it's a better picture than my driver's license, so I will be using this other than to drive. And there's my driver's license.
Oh, okay.
Yep.
Yeah, that's a mugshot.
Yeah, that's it.
That's definitely a mugshot.
Yeah. So I will be sticking with this photo.
In Missouri, they make you smile for your ID, which I hate because no one else ever has, so I'm never expecting it, and that makes me look crazy because I'm not expecting to have to smile, so I'm just like...
Yeah, they don't want you to smile in Illinois.
Nowhere else!
Well, one time somebody at the DMV made me smile. She's like, come on, smile a little bit. I'm like, I don't want to. I'm at the DMV.
I hate being asked or told or, like, fucking demanded to smile. I hate it. So, anytime someone tells me to smile, I'm like...
Well, like, when I had to take this photo, they were like, okay, take your glasses off and look at the blue dot. And I didn't hear her say the blue dot thing at first. So I'm like, I took off my glasses. The blue dot is far enough away that I can't fucking see the blue dot without my glasses on. I'm so blind that I'm like, she's like, look at the blue dot. I'm like, hold on. And I put my glasses on. I'm like, okay, so it's right there. And and she's like, and tuck your hair behind your ear. I'm like,
what in the fuck is this? Like, glamour shot?
Bitch, just take my photo.
Well, like I said, I've never had anyone tell me to do anything with my hair.
Actually, so, yeah, there we go. IDs. Woo! People know who I am. Let's see where we're going next.
All right. That's funny. Yeah, let's see where we're going to go next. Oh, Nigel.
What's he doing?
He's making a cute little face. Like I'm keeping him awake. Like he's tired.
Talking,
like,
Mom. I need to go to bed.
Yeah. I don't know why you're tired. You're tired? Oh, wow. Okay.
Is he?
Yeah.
Was that a question, Busy Boo? Yeah. Oh, God, you're so big and angry.
Oh, wow.
Oh, God.
Hi, baby. Hi, kitty baby. You're pretty. You're pretty.
She just roll her eyes.
If cats can, she did.
You are just getting smaller and smaller in hopes that I'll just let you go. But, honey, I'm never letting you go. I love you. Don't eat my face. Oh, took my headphones with me.
Chaos!
Fucking fluffy assholes.
All right. Well, we are going to Versailles, Kentucky.
Our first trip to Kentucky. Fun.
Mm-hmm.
And we will be...
Yep.
We are having ourselves number 7. Got a prominent people of prominence.
Okay, cool.
Excellent.
Cool. Sounds good. Alrighty. Well,
it's been real.
It's not such a long trip from Ohio to Kentucky.
Just neighboring states.
All right. Well, I guess I'll see you there.
I will be there. Will you see me? Maybe. Maybe not.
All right.
I'm a ghost on the wind.
I don't know. I wouldn't count on me for anything.
I definitely wouldn't count on you to operate any heavy machinery.
No.
Well, let Nigel sleep. I will talk to you later.
Sounds good.
Bye.
Happy wandering. Bye. Thank you for listening to the Wandering Chronicles podcast with your hosts, Ashley and Jamie. You can follow us on social media at Wandering Chronicles Pod on TikTok, Wandering Chronicles Podcast on Instagram, Facebook, and YouTube, and WND Chronicle Pod on Twitter. Or you can email us at wanderingchroniclespodcast@gmail.com. New episodes drop once a week. If you're liking what you're listening to, please consider leaving us a 5-star review on Apple. If you don't like what you're listening to, that's fine. Please tell everyone you know about our podcast. Your bank teller, that person at work that you're pretty sure steals your lunch out of the fridge every day, but you can't prove it, so you don't say anything. The hot dad that walks his dog by your house every day. Your cashier at the grocery store. Your children's friends' parents. I bet they listen to podcasts. Okay, thanks. Bye! Why are they mowing the lawn right now? Holy hell.
Oh boy.